title basically reflecting the philosophy that the Moussa Technical University is built. It's fairly new university. The university started in 2017. Basically, it's part of the initiative of the National Strategy for Human Development, and basically reflecting also the Jordan National Qualification Framework, even though for the meantime we are working close in line with the British or the UK National Qualification Framework. So the title is totally disruptive, and it's a learning platform. And basically, we look at it as it's an HTU model towards excellence and fit employability. It's really, when we look at it, when we have what we call a future outlook, we have to look for fit employability. And this is part of the responsibility of all universities. It's not anymore valid looking at skills in our what we call norm and standard that we built for the last 50 years. The future outlook is all about skills and competences, and there is what we call skills achiever. Our learners in the universities, we believe that they are, with the philosophy that we have, they are skill achievers more than skills learners. So, our dilemma, provoke learning, these are some of the topics that I will focus on. The other intelligences, factors of success for higher education, fit employability and adaptive model, the NQF system, types of learning, types of assessments, quality embedded system, and then basically that's the reason that we should have national qualification framework, factors of success to excellence, and finally the learning expectation. This is part of the dilemma that we believe. We have what we call smart learners. Believe me, when we have admitting our students, we admit them not only with IQs, not anymore valid. We have other intelligences. We believe they are talents, and this is part of the admission in HTU. We have what we call social intelligence. We have adversity intelligences. We have what we call also emotional intelligence, that we have to revoke these part of the learning platforms at HTU. The global graduate attributes. And this is part of the skills that we have. What really graduate attributes towards engineering? Graduate attributes towards computer science. Regardless, we are talking data science, artificial intelligence. We have to look at the final shape of our students. Employability skills, that means industrial engagement, disruptive change. Disruptive change even in the classroom. It's not anymore valid a classroom, basically teachers and learners. It has to be project-based learning, problem-based learning, and so on and so forth. Teaching and learning. When we mention teaching and learning, basically for the delivery part, it's not about students anymore. They are learners, but we need somebody really to optimize the level of delivery, and that's part of the professor. When we look at the professors, we have three types of professors at HTU, basically the academic, and we have the industrial professors, and by the way, they have what we call a deep industry level, more than 15 years of experience, with evidences. And finally, we have what we call HTU Fellow. HTU Fellow, basically, somebody, he's a subject matter expert, very well experienced. Basically, we believe in mentorship. That means the HTU Fellow will take 5 to 7 students, and try to model them in what we call engaging with the industry. That's all. We don't need professors from that level just to teach. Teaching, learning, it's what we call learning by induction. If I get somebody where people get engaged and aligned with the schools that they teach them, that's part of the learning cycle that students should be imposed to it. let me skip. Professional development for all facilitators. Not any more teachers, not any more professors. Now, when my colleagues mentioned research, what we really miss in Jordan, and I believe in the Middle East, applied research. Applied research is very important, and when we say applied research, it means there should be what we call, at a global level or local level, industry engagement for our facilitators. So there should be a balance between teaching and learning on one side, and research on the side, and that research should be applied. Not only research on the theoretical part. Look at the Far East, what they did when they focused strategically on applied research. Industrial engagement. When we mention industrial engagement, we'll be in the dilemma with industry partnership for the last 30 years, and the outcome was zero. When we mention industrial engagement, in a sense, at the curriculum development level, we need these industry fellows to come in and be part of the committees on annual basis, either in development or implementation or in revisions. That's really what we call industrial engagement. The new technology, especially this is a technical university, the new technology, by the way, do we need 4 years for our graduate to fit for the employability after 4 years, especially those sciences and those programs, and sometimes of industry? It doesn't wait 4 years for our students to be fit. That's why we need the industry to come in and engage in our system, rather than to go to the industry and to engage with them. I mentioned employability skills, leadership and innovation ecosystem. It's not part of the always we mention systems, but we believe it's all about ecosystems. Now, when we part of the skills for our students, there should be what we call innovation programs. We all believe that entrepreneurship shouldn't be more than 2%. Because new ideas, we always have new ideas, but when it comes to innovation, there should be some limitation based on the resources that we have. But believe me, innovators should be at workplaces, in hospitals, in governments. This, what we call the motors in our institutions are so old. And we need these youth to be part of the initiatives in governments, in institutions, and everybody else. Not only entrepreneurships, we need intrapreneurships. And these are part of the programs that we do at HT. So, part of the system that we have, work integrated learning. What do we mean work integrated? It's not about training. After 2 years, students are filled with skills. We believe so. So the next step that we have what we call apprenticeships for 8 months. And it's all what we do, we send our learners as employers to the systems, regardless where. We have 140 industrial engagement partners. And our students, they live with them. And some of them, they get paid on a payroll, and some of them, they really get hired at the end of the apprenticeship. And this is the system that we need. We call it work integrated learning. There are lots of skills, lots of competences. They learn because they are there, not because they are within our system. So part of the work, we need to have engagement, occupational standards, because students are not just working, we need evidences they gain the skills and competences that we believe they should have it. And finally, we have what we call a mentorship program that they do within the 8 months that they stay with the company. The other intelligences that we really focus on, these are some of them. It's not about IQ anymore.
It's not about 95 and 99. We get students with 70s and 60s, and they get a GPA 4.0 in this university. Because the project-based learning, the problem-based learning, it's not a scoring system anymore. It's achievement system. It's more than that. That's why you get 70 in engineering. When you do progression for bachelors, their averages, and we have evidences for that, their averages is 4.0. So the system is made for them. It's not made for us. These are, by the way, the graduate attributes and the types of learning that we have. The difference between project-based learning and problem-based learning. Facilitators in the first one, they know the result. We can expect the result and the way, because the scenarios comes from the industry. But from the problem-based learning, we don't know the result. The student has to defend the outcomes that they should obtain at the end of the project. Collaborative-based learning, almost 30 credits, which is 1/4 of the qualification system, comes from the collaborative-based learning, and in every activity, it's based on a scenario, comes either from the industry or from research, but at the end, everything that we deliver to our students has to come through part of these learning. These are the outcomes, the skills that we believe. Job skills, by the way, it's different. Employment skills is different than job skills. Job skills comes from the industry engagement, where the employability skills comes from the councils. The councils for example, for computer science, we get what we call the employability skills. But when it comes to the job skills, that's part of the industry engagement in our program. Professional certification. All our students at the end of the qualification cycle should have at least three professional certificates, which means has to have what we call self-learning with the outside. By the way, we have lots of professional certification, and we believe this is one of the edge for being in the industry engagement. These part of the assessment methodologies, we believe that we have more than 14 different ways of assessment. Time constraint, which is the written exam, is part of the assessment and a small part in our system. But we have oral assessment, jury assessment, we have documentary assessment, and finally we call it hands-on assessment. And more, especially when we go into some specialties like architecture and computer science. We are part of the national qualification system. We are the first university in Jordan to be listed in Jordan National Qualification System. All our programs get placed in the system. The quality of the system that we believe we have, from basically in starting the course until the end, where we claim our grades, every single milestone has to be quality assessed. And this is we do it by internal verification, and we have what we call external verification. We have somebody, external examiner comes into the system, gets some sampling, and approve our grades at the end. So when we look at the employability and adaptive model, we need to have to integrate more with the skill councils, global graduate attributes. No fancy university. It's not anymore valid. Defense university. We have to be part of the local community. Our university is in a business park. We serve 220 companies in this business park, and we believe it's part of the mission and vision of this university. Fit employability also comes with upskilling. We have upskilling program, excursions to our students, international link, and basically the certification. Alumni, as Dr. Muhammad mentioned, we have heavily with alumni, even though we have the first and second batch. And thank you.